All right, we are here at the Neshaminy Mall in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. As you might be able to tell, this place really isn't doing so hot. Now we're down here at the one surviving anchor, which is Boscov's, and in typical Boscov's fashion, even though we're in a dead mall, Boscov's is hanging on, and it's fairly busy in there, even though it's noon on a Wednesday. So I'm just going to give you a quick walkthrough. I'm not super well versed in the history of this place, and if any of you spot what some of these retailers used to be, feel free to leave a comment. Starting down, I'm guessing what happened here is Boscov's took over a mall tenant, which they are known to do. And Boscov's is very weird. Seems to be the only department store actually looking to expand their stores. Got a shoe carnival down here. I will say, I think this is a pretty nice mall, architecturally. Guess I can't speak today. This place dates back to 1968. I don't know how much of this is original and how much of this was added. But I'm guessing that we are, right now, if there is an original part, this is the original part. And we still got an operating Claire's as well as an operating T-Mobile. I'm guessing it's probably not a T-Mobile corporate store. Oh yeah, and right there is a hairstyling academy. And yeah, no, that is not a T-Mobile corporate store. I believe this was Journeys. In fact, I'm almost certain this was Journeys. Peek in a little bit. I'm guessing this mall's decline really started relatively recently. Just walking through, I can see that a lot of the stores have, at least some of the stores have more recent renovation packages. And what we're looking at here is actually our former Macy's. And I believe this store was built as a Strawbridge's. In fact, this part right here reminds me of what Cherry Hill Mall was like back when it was built. Because they had this little, they had the Strawbridge's, and they had a little mini balcony. And then mall entrances on 2 floors, which is pretty neat. I'll walk down this corridor a little bit here. Now, this mall is currently owned by Paramount Realty. It was owned by Brookfield up until very recently. I think 2024 is when Brookfield let it go. And I know that there are pending redevelopment plans here. So I'm guessing the vibe that I'm getting is that Paramount isn't really trying to run this mall as is. Well, in fact, I know there are pending redevelopment plans. That might be a former FYE there, by the way. But if I'm wrong, you can tell me. Got a little display for Boscov's, always a sign of a poppin' mall. All right, and I believe this here, I want to say that's American Eagle there. You can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. If you think I'm going to get offended, I'm not, because that's engagement. Now, we do have an operating Hot Topic here. We also have an operating Aeropostale. And this right here, I think, was probably either Kay or Zales. Now this here was obviously a Hollister. Clearly it is no longer a Hollister. We got our food court down there. I'll give you a more detailed look when I swing back around, since my car is actually right outside the food court. We got the bridge, which I guess is a church. Clearly, they're just trying to get whatever tenants they can. Now, we do have an operating Bath and Body Works here. And as I'm sure some of you know, Bath and Body Works is definitely a dead mall staple. Now, this right here, actually, this might be our American Eagle here. Oh, and I think I know what this was here. This was probably Picture People. You can see the photos of children there. That's my guess. Could also be like a spitball, maybe Gymboree or something like that. This here, I think, was New York and Company. Either New York and Company or Express, but I think New York and Company. And we still have an operating Hallmark here. PJ's Plus is what that label scar says, but don't think that's what this was originally. And then right here, I believe is actually a wing that's been shut off. And from what I've been told, that's actually a pretty recent development. And then what we're looking at dead on here is a former Sears. You might even be able to make out the label scar. But I know a Sears mall entrance when I see one, so I didn't need the label scar. We can actually peek into whatever this was. It does seem like most of the activity these days is down by Boscov's, which makes sense because it's our one operating anchor. Unless you count this Barnes & Noble here, which again is still in operation. Again, it definitely seems like there could be a good mall here, for sure. Because I mean, the Boscov's is reasonably lively. Barnes & Noble a little less so, but we're talking like 12:30 p.m. on a Wednesday. So these places are not going to be at their most busy. But this place, even though it is a little bit devoid of stores, it ain't desolate. There's plenty of people here, even if most of them are mall walkers. So I'm reasonably optimistic about any redevelopment plans coming up. I definitely think with the right redevelopment, this mall can have a bright future. And I don't think the whole thing's coming down. I think they're only planning on demolishing a portion of it, maybe about half. I'm guessing it's probably the part that we're in. The one thing I didn't show is, I believe down at the end of the closed wing there, that, I believe, is where AMC is. And AMC is still in operation. Now, I do like this little center atrium here. Not much left at the food court. Just got one store. That's that. Looks like it was kind of a crappy food court to begin with. Again, definitely people here. You know, and obviously this area here is closed off, but I don't think it's closed off because, I mean, it's not raining right now, but I don't see like any leak buckets or anything like that, so the building actually seems to be in reasonably good shape. Anywho, I think that wraps up this walkthrough. Thank you for watching, and catch you guys soon.